Good evening, everybody. And
Good
Russell's
evening.
back.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
Fair,
It's okay.
fair. Well, welcome back to another Saturday with Devils and Ravens AF. Tonight we have an astounding director of a really, really awesome movie that has just come out. We have Lisa Belcher. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you guys.
Let's see, who do we have in the chat? We got Shire Nerd. Thanks for joining us. Kitlin, hello. Trippin' Toys, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. So, let's kind of see how everybody's weekend's going so far. We'll start with our guest first. How's your weekend been?
It's been great. I'm out in Tucson, Arizona right now. It's kind of rainy, but it's that transitioning into the colder months, and I kind of like it. So yeah, and I mean Saturday night and talking about a movie. There's no place I'd rather be. So yeah, my weekend's kicking ass.
Awesome.
Nice.
Russell, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing good, dude, man. Kid birthday parties and just kind of gearing up for the season.
Fair enough. Austin?
Just got back from having an early Thanksgiving at my father's, and it was good though. Delicious. I'm stuffed. I might pass out here in a little bit.
hey,
lunch
no food comas on live. No food comas on live.
Trying
No,
not
no.
to. Had a big ass
Gold.
turkey leg.
On fumes, man. Busy day.
On fumes, busy
Caught the
day.
cafe.
Yeah, it is that time of the season. I mean,
Yep.
we just came off of Halloween, and now we're headed into Thanksgiving, and birthdays, Christmas, and everything else, and then the New Year. Crazy how fast this year's flown by.
You know,
So it's I can't believe it's going to be 2026 already.
I know.
It's
I saw a
nuts.
comedian the other day on, I don't know, some social media platform, and his thing was about November, and everybody says in November, it's already November. Like we all kind of do this when it comes to the end of the year, I suppose. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
after Halloween, it just starts rolling. Thanksgiving, Christmas, like you said, and then there it is.
It
All the
is.
big
It's,
stuff's at the
you're
end
like
of the year.
hit. You're like hit left and right, and then I've got a ton of birthdays at the end of the year that I got to hit.
Oh, yeah, me
It's
too.
crazy.
Yeah, I used
So,
to definitely had a lot of family back in the day. Was when they were still living. They had like December, like 7 or 8 December birthdays. Now we're down
Wow.
to
So
like maybe 2.
you were like nonstop celebrating.
Both
That's crazy.
grandparents had them. I had like a cousin, I think an uncle. Like it was like 5 or 6, and then January was like 9. So I mean,
Wow.
it's always, yeah. Everyone was born in the winter.
Both of my little girls' birthday is December.
Oof. Yeah.
How
big
old
hit.
is
They're going to be 6 and 4 this year.
Oh, wow.
You're
And then we
big.
got a third girl on the way, supposed to be here into April.
Well, at least you got out of that November, December time frame.
Yeah, we got a good space in between because my son's birthday is in August, so it gives us a good little buffer period.
Okay. Yeah, I usually find myself broke with having like 5 kids and everybody else's birthday at the end of the year. So
yeah, just consistently.
But so tonight we want to talk about you, Lisa. We want to hear your story and talk about your new movie, House of Abraham, which we we all watched last night, and it was phenomenal. We thought
was
it was
amazing,
absolutely
yeah.
phenomenal.
Super. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me more. What else did you think?
We will get to that definitely, but what we want to know is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So House of Abraham is my first feature to direct. I've directed a bunch of short films, and I've been doing this for a while. But it's really exciting to have House of Abraham now out there, being able to share it with audiences, and kind of my journey, how I got into it. I've always had like filmmaking in my heart and soul, even as a teenager. But when I went off to college, I wanted to go to film school, and my parents were like, hell no, how are you going to pay your bills? And so I went to business school and got a major in marketing, which I don't regret, because that's really been a part of the filmmaking thing, especially with Abraham right now. So yeah, focusing a lot on marketing. But yeah, I've directed a bunch of shorts in a lot of different genres. This is my first time to really work in horror and thriller, and it's been a blast. I absolutely love it. And filmmaking is so collaborative. We have a hashtag film family, so it's really great. I've I shot my first film was in Hong Kong. Actually, I lived over there for a few years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a kind of a family film, 30-minute short, sort of coming of age adventure. My brother had written a short story, and I loved it, and so I adapted it to be a script, and then directed it over there, which was a blast. And then came back to Austin, Texas. So I've directed pretty much everything else in Austin, and Austin is an incredible film town. Lots going on, lots of projects, lots of creative people, and the crews there are really amazing. So yeah, I've had a killer journey, and I've got more on the plate and ready. I have a lot more I have to do before I die. So yeah.
Definitely. So you started with acting before you went into directing? Is that what you said? Or no, you started directing first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I've always loved being behind the camera. And so I did a lot of photography when I was younger, and living in Austin before I moved to Hong Kong. I tried to get on some film. I started with screenwriting, really kind of taught myself screenwriting. And also I'll give a shout out to a book that is my favorite screenwriting book called The Nutshell Technique. So any screenwriters out there, it's written by Jill Chamberlain. She's a friend of mine, and I took her class in Austin. So I really kind of started with screenwriting, and then I wanted to get on some film sets and sort of learn the drill and learn all of that. So I was my first film set, I was a stand-in for Connie Britton on a film called Angels Sing. It's a holiday film, actually. You should pull it back out and watch it. Harry Connick Jr. is in it. A lot of musicians from Texas, Willie Nelson, all of them. And so there was a scene. Yeah, it's a fun film. But there's a scene that they needed extras in. And as a stand-in, I was not on screen, and so myself and my two sons, we sat in this church, and as extras or background, if anyone's ever done that before, they tell you nothing, right? They keep you in a holding area, tell you to put your phones away. And so they lead us into this beautiful church in Bastrop, Texas. And we're sitting about 2 rows back, and all of a sudden Willie Nelson comes in, and he sits, and our job is to sit and listen to him play. So it was pretty awesome. It was a scene. Harry Connick Jr. came in and had a little dialogue, and it was easygoing, and we all made $100. And so my oldest son, William, which I'll talk about him in a little bit, because the music in House of Abraham, William is involved in. But anyway, so we all get $100, and he says, "Mom, I want to be an actor." And I said, "Okay, all right, let's do this." So we found out there was a casting company in Austin, or no, an agency who was having auditions. And so I take him there, and I'd never been in front of the camera at all, but he got a little nervous, and he's like, "Mom, are you going to audition also?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll do it too." So we both go up. Sorry, I'll wrap it. This is a long story.
No.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so he gets up there to audition and he realizes we both got commercials. So they gave him a Bluebell ice cream little piece of paper, and then I got Pepsi. So he goes up with Bluebell ice cream and he, does his audition and all of that. And then he's like, yeah, Mom, no, I don't think this is my jam. And I was like, no, that's cool. It's fine. So then they have me up there, and sometimes when we don't care and we don't get in your head about things, you can be stronger and better, especially I think with acting. When we get in our heads, it's not as great. So anyway, I get up there, I give my best Pepsi commercial, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, that was great. Try it again this way. Try it again that way. The next day they called and signed me to the agency. So I was like, whoa, okay, now I need to
Where
start
did this come from?
Yeah. It was very unexpected, but I'm a big fan of pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and it scared me, I'll be honest. But I was like, this is cool, and this is going to help inform my screenwriting at the time. Dialogue and all of that is really helpful. So so I started taking some acting classes and all of that, and then our journey took us over to Hong Kong. So I definitely had a few acting gigs over there. I did theater, which was, I have such respect for theater actors. It's not easy because you can't cut,
Yeah.
So yeah, did some acting over there. So technically I'd had some acting gigs prior to directing The Gift, but it kind of all happened at the same time. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, to be there to support your son.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
his dream, and then him going, and then you picking up the gig for it, that had to been like, whoa, really?
It was a trip. And I remember when I went for the acting class that I joined in Austin, shout out to Van Brooks. It was a big mentor in my life. And I remember he kind of would interview people before they came into the class, to make sure they're like legit and serious and all that. And I said to him, I said, I kind of feel dumb that I'm not like 17 and I'm coming to your class. And he said, no. He said, you have life experience. You've experienced love. You've had children. You've had, dark nights, all the things that come with being on this planet a little bit longer. And I kind of dug that. So I got started in, the whole film career a little bit later in life, but I don't know. Everybody's timing is kind
Different.
of right for them and different. Yeah. So, and I believe there's no deadline to anything. You can start anything at any time in life. So, So yeah, that's been my journey. So.
I mean, that's a really good way to look at like becoming an actor, though, because you're supposed to play all these roles or have, some kind of knowledge on how to play a role. And yeah, the more life experience you have, the more you can say, oh, well, yeah, I was in that dark place at that one time, or yeah, I felt that joy at one time. It definitely seems like a bonus to have that, and be ready to take on several different roles over whatever career you may have.
Yeah, it's so true, because as actors we have to become that character, but become our version of that character, who we are. And so we bring all of our life and our, all the things to that. And so for a performance, there's something deep inside of you or some motivation that results in that performance, whatever that comes from. And I remember I had, I directed, produced, acted in, and wrote a short film called Guest of Honor. And there was a really heavy scene in that, and talking about pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I had written in this like real intense emoting scene that, didn't have to have tears, but that's what I envisioned as the writer. And I just, I didn't intend to play the role. I had actually cast Lucas Hassel, who is in House of Abraham, which we'll get to in a minute. But, and I was like, ooh, I really have a lot of empathy for what this character is going through. So I cast myself in the role, and Lucas and I think worked really well as a couple. They were going through kind of a tragedy, a really heavy time. It's a drama.
Right.
Anyway, the point I'm getting to is there was a scene that was really intense for my character, and I had to find a really dark place in my own world in order to go there in my head to
bring out the emotion.
Yeah, that I was looking for. So, so yeah, actors have all sorts of tools and tricks, and sometimes they share them with the director, and sometimes it's their own private, deal. Whatever that is. Every actor is different, and has their own journey on how they get to those performances. So, yeah,
That's awesome. Now, the directing side of everything. You said that's kind of where you wanted to go when you were younger, correct? That was like the end goal.
I think so. Yeah, I just knew I wanted to tell stories, and I loved the idea of being behind a camera and deciding what's going to go in that frame and what's not. That was kind of the basics of it when I started. And for House of Abraham and where I am today, I mean, along the journey, I've worn a lot of hats. But I can solidly say today that directing is really my favorite hat to wear, and I think is my biggest strength of all the hats. So yeah, that's where I am today. But who knows what tomorrow will bring?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You seem to have traveled the entire span of everything that goes into movie making, and having that experience and everything playing together. It all kind of fits together to make you better at each part. It seems,
Very true. Absolutely.
Having that perspective as a writer allows you to have a better vision as a director, I guess. Being able to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love writing, but I'm kind of slow at it. And so I realized after working with Lucas, so when I cast him in Guest of Honor, he came on and we really sort of started building these characters together. And he ended up coming on as a co-writer, and we really collaborated. And he's an incredible writer, probably my favorite writer that I've ever worked with. And I love the way that he thinks and the way that he doesn't overtell certain things, but also plants some seeds along the way. And really, I mean, he's really, really gifted in that way. And so I realized, yeah, I can write, but collaborating with someone like Lucas and saying, okay, here are my thoughts and here are some things, and then he can go and execute it and puts it together beautifully. And if it's taking a character out, he fixes all the holes along the way or whatever that is. So so definitely on the writing piece, and then especially on acting, because acting basically has really helped my directing, because being an actor and being in front of the camera is such a vulnerable space to be. And so now I have the ability to have empathy for what my actors are going through when I'm directing, and that's just gold for me. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. So, speaking of directing and acting, let's talk about the new movie, House of Abraham.
Let's talk about it.
Let's see. I have some stills from it that I would like to bring up.
Yeah.
So, here's the first one, and the movie stars Natasha Henstridge, Lynn Shay, Lucas Hassel, Gary Clark, Marvel A. Rex, Sean Freeland, William Magnuson, Khalees Sykes, Kelsey, I'm going to ruin this name, Pribilski?
Pribilski. Yeah.
Pribilski, thank you. Aria Goodson, Doug Kennedy, and of course yourself.
Yep, I have a cameo. I do.
Awesome.
I've acted and directed on a lot of projects, and so yeah, it was like I gotta have a fun little role here. So yeah,
the bonus part.
Yeah.
This is another great scene from the movie, with all the actors at the table without giving anything away. When we watched it, this was how we were introduced to the movie, and it was very thought provoking.
Yeah.
conversation during these scenes. Very,
Yeah.
there's a lot of surprises that get thrown your way. Again, we can't sing enough praises for this film because it was just so well put together, and it was well timed with how everything shook out throughout the movie.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, the dining room scene that we were just looking at is kind of it's very early on in the film when everybody arrives to the house of Abraham, and it's kind of a brief introduction to everybody and the rules and the ways how Abraham has people come to his house, and he's traditions and rituals and things like that are very important to him, and so it really, this scene sets the stage for really the journey that we're about to go on. So it was this scene we had. God, I guess we did one day, and it was 14 pages, and the initial rough cut I think was about 20 minutes. Because there's a lot of information, and as we trimmed it down, then I was realizing, okay, we can cut this out because you want to keep it moving along. There's a lot of information to get there, but I think it ended up maybe 6 or 8 minutes or something like that at that point. But yeah, spent a lot of time in the editing room on this scene.
Next up, so this is Lucas Hassel, who also wrote the story, correct?
Mm-hmm. He did.
And the legendary Lynn Shay.
Yeah.
How exciting was it to work with her?
Wow. Incredibly exciting. Yeah. I don't have a better, bigger word than exciting, but there should be a better one than that. But,
yes.
But yeah, so Lucas had Lynn in mind when he wrote the role of Beatrice. He had worked with her on another project. And so we sent her the script, and she totally dug it and was in, which we were thrilled about. It was, I'm looking at the notes here, ecstatic. Yes, there's a good word. Thank you. I'm ecstatic. I appreciate that.
She seemed like she had fun playing the character.
Yeah. No, and Lynn was, so this scene right here is, I don't know, maybe a third in, maybe a quarter into the film where we meet Beatrice for the first time. Wait, do we meet her? Oh no, we see her at the beginning. Sorry. But this was the very first scene that we filmed with Lynn, and so I met Lynn, and we were putting this scene together, and she came with so many ideas. She's such a creative individual, and she also has no ego. So she just was so happy to be there, joyful. But man, did she have ideas and everything for Beatrice, including costume ideas. So I know a lot of people out there haven't seen the movie, but so Beatrice plays Abraham's sort of creepy assistant, right? So all the people come to Abraham's home wanting to end things. And Beatrice helps facilitate that. And, she's welcoming and smiling initially when we meet her. And then, what is her role that she plays? And so she came to set and she met with costume, and she's like, I think Beatrice should wear a French maid's outfit. And I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And so, that's my job as a director, to keep the tone right for the film. And that, while hilarious, was not exactly right for the tone. It's not a campy story. And she has some moments, and I had to sort of reel her back in, but that's not her job. Her job is to let her kind of freak flag fly. And I have to keep her, and it does, right? You guys have seen the whole film. We let her freak out later
Yeah,
on.
I mean, even that intro sequence, I was like, yeah, Beatrice is a little sketch. There's something with her.
She's
a little off. She's a little off.
I don't exactly trust this woman.
Yeah, and it progressively gets better throughout the film with her.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Speaking of which,
there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Prime example.
Here's the comparison: before and after.
No, that's so true. That scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys watch that scene, and let's see, how can I share? She definitely, I let her kind of explore some improv in that scene. She's getting a little violent, as you can tell from the image. And I can tell this story, it'll be fine. So she might be doing a little torturing. So we'll just leave it there. And Beatrice is trying to find different tools with which to use to torture and to achieve the goal that she's trying to get out of this person. And so that day on set, for lunch we had sandwiches brought in. There was, pastrami and ham and cheese and egg salad. And Lynn had egg salad for lunch. And so as she's going through this, and she's like, well, how about this instrument and this, thing is, I'm going to torture you with this. And how about that? And then all of a sudden she goes, and how about some egg salad? And she goes into this whole thing with egg salad. And I was like, wow, okay. She was so in the moment. And so egg salad did not make it into the film because that didn't work. But I love that Lynn kind of brought her lunch to set. So
That's awesome. I love hearing stories of the actors that come on and, as you so put it, let the freak flag fly.
yeah.
Because, like, I've seen, several movies with her, and she has such a wide range, but she can make even the most serious event just have this comedy edge to the very outer portions of it, where you're like, you really want to feel bad or you really want to be scared of her, but you can't help but laugh inside because just how she is so animated with her acting. And truly amazing actors. And
Yeah.
Lucas was amazing too. Holy cow.
Yes.
Yeah. His character was devious. I loved it.
Yeah.
He did a really good job.
Back to what you were saying about Lynn and sort of the laughter, I find it fascinating that with a psychological thriller / horror, like this story, the tone of it was serious. There's a couple little comedy relief that was on purpose in the script, but when I listen in the theater, there's some laughter in points and whatever. So I wanted to ask you guys, did you find any comedic moments? Not that you have to share them all, but I'm just curious what your journey was like watching this film, and if you got any giggles.
There was
Yes.
a few in the initial parts of the movie, like when things were getting set up. But as it went on, like once the main plot like started kicking into gear, and like that veil started to get lifted on, like the laughter kind of abruptly stopped.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't even like a prolonged, like maybe the way a certain character acted or like a certain line was like okay, that's kind of odd. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like Lin Shaye in the beginning, when she's got like that big like fake smile going on, and you're just like, okay, she might.
You are welcome here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I about lost it when I saw her sniffing the shoe, though.
Yeah.
That was a pretty hard part to hold back.
Oh, I wish I could have let all her performance. She asked our production designer, shout out to Ashley Landavazo and her team. We sort of packed the suitcase with all sorts of little goodies for her to find in that scene, and so she would pull different things out, and the reactions and all that. There was great. I mean, I should probably look and like do some outtakes, and for Lin Shaye fans, that would be a fun scene. But yeah, the sniff of the shoe made it in. She's going through someone's suitcase, which you'll find out when you see the film. So
yeah, she was definitely the one person that in all the seriousness of the film, because it does have a really heavy. It has several really heavy, kind of mind twists when you really look at it from different perspectives. She was definitely the one that kind of brought out the levity of the film, and she did it in such a way that it didn't break the tension. it kind of like enhanced the attention. You're like, oh, you want to laugh, but you're like, should I laugh at this? Because that's kind of creepy if I do laugh at this. But yeah, all the actors on set and a part of this movie, they did phenomenal jobs with their parts. I mean,
thanks. Yeah,
I want to talk about the movie, but I don't want to talk about the movie because I know I'll spoil it. So I'll just leave it at there. Everybody did an amazing job during the filming of this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. Give everybody in the audience a little taste of what they can expect.
I am Abraham. Welcome to my house. I'm here to guide everyone with love, and if in the end anyone has a change of heart about what they came here for, that's absolutely fine. You all saw the bell outside. That is the bell of courage and support. When you are ready, you will ring it to gather the troops for your death.
Why are you doing this?
It's complicated.
What if I change my mind? You won't.
I saw you, by the way. I saw you trailing Abraham to his lodge. Why?
I am Abraham. Welcome to my house.
I don't know what the fuck you're after, but don't screw this up for the rest of us.
She's trouble.
I don't think anyone can leave.
Death is what I signed up for.
This is closure.
This man has been orchestrating people's deaths for decades.
My house means a lot to me. Why sabotage what I'm trying to do here? Tell me what I need to hear!
Say the word!
I salute your courage. I wish you happiness in the next leg of your journey. Life is not for everyone.
I'm still very adamant about this being one of those movies where the less you know about it going in, the better your experience will be.
Yeah.
And because the movie is so good without knowing anything.
Yeah, honestly, because I knew nothing before we watched it, and it's just great experience.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks.
it's when some of the reveals, without saying anything, it's like a gut punch. Like you want it, we're also like, wait, what? Like, yeah.
Well, thanks for who's watching it on your lazy Sunday. I love that. Enjoy it, and come comment on our page and tell us what you think, or share your friends. We're an indie little film and trying to get the word out there. So thanks for your comment.
When you say comment on your page, where specifically? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube?
Thank you. Yeah. So our kind of main social media is Instagram. It's House of Abraham Movie. So that's kind of where we've had the majority of our activity. We are on TikTok, but we have a small team, so we're trying to spread the word there as well. There we go. There's our Instagram page. And also, thanks for the follow.
I thought I was following you already.
Another spot where you can get some information about the film is houseofabrahammovie.com. The website has links to, right now, I'll give you the whole thing. You can watch it on our page. You have to download an app called Gather, which I'll go into the details of how that works in a sec. There you are on the page. And it's also available on Amazon, Apple, Google. Yeah, she put it all on there. Amazon, Apple, Google Play, YouTube, and then the Gather app. So shall I launch in and explain what Gather is for those?
Please do.
Yes,
because
please.
We tried to watch this last night on YouTube, and I rented it off of YouTube, and YouTube blocked us from being able to stream it.
What?
Yeah, well, it removed the video portion of it, so only audio was coming through because we were streaming it to just a closed room, and it wouldn't let. So then Don went and rented it as well off of Amazon, and Amazon Prime let us watch it all together. So
Screen share.
Yeah, shout out Amazon.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Boo
Thank you,
YouTube.
Amazon.
Boo
And
YouTube.
yeah. Well, yeah, so Gather is they don't do any marketing, but they're kind of a video on demand marketplace that helps independent filmmakers like myself to connect directly with audiences. So here's if you have to take some extra steps, which is not great. You have to download the Gather app if you want to watch it on your smart TV, so you can do it that way, or you can just watch it from your computer. Yeah, as he's showing you there. So that's an extra step. But the extra step, what it does for us as independent filmmakers is, first of all, it gives us a lot more control. So we can see when it was viewed. We can kind of see some information as to help us, figure out where to put the film next. Also, we take home about 82 cents on every dollar from Gather. Whereas Amazon, Apple, those guys, we're lucky if we get 35, 40 cents. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So if you're out there and want to watch the movie and you can take the extra step to watch Gather, please do. If it is extra time and you don't have that time, then watch it on Prime or the other places too. So, yeah.
It's like trying to sell anything on eBay. They take most of your cash.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, yeah, Amazon is out there and everybody knows about it. And so I don't have to do the extra step of marketing because we know where Amazon is. But yeah, Gather has a lot of other things they do. They do virtual screenings and other things like that. I feel like I've been Gather's like personal sales rep. Gather, you need to give me some money for this. No, I'm just kidding. But
promo credit.
Yeah. No, but I'm grateful that they exist out there, and I think Scott was a filmmaker who was challenged with trying to get his stuff out there, and he's the founder of the company. I've yet to meet Scott, but I hear he's great. So, yeah. So
Really awesome.
Yeah, and then it's also coming soon out on DVD and Blu-ray. I'm really excited. So you guys are obviously, well, not obviously, but I assume are horror fans. It seems that Blu-rays are quite popular in the horror space, and collectibles are kind of coming back. What do you guys think about physical media?
I'm a fan of the hard copy. I prefer a disc.
Nice. What do you think about the extra features on there? Is that an incentive to buy?
Behind the scenes is always incentive.
Yeah.
So
behind the
I used
scenes,
to be
blooper reels, the trailers, everything. Yeah.
Deleted scenes.
Yeah.
I used to be a big proponent of owning physical media and all that stuff, huge game collection, movies, all that stuff. But as I've gotten older, I do enjoy the simplicity of just turning on the TV and finding something without having to pop in a disc. But the bonus features are a big draw, and I do enjoy that. That's one of my favorite things on the older movies is they gave you almost like 2+ hours of just behind the scenes footage on top of the movie, if not more, and interviews and all that stuff that you just don't get now. And if you do, it's like very sanitized nowadays. Like you get a very like
limited
sit down interview with the actors instead of like the actual creative process going into the movie and stuff. So that's what I miss the most.
Well, anyone who is up for purchasing the Blu-ray copy of House of Abraham, you will get some special features, and I'll go through those briefly. You get a behind-the-scenes video, and back in the day, you could watch hours and hours of that, and that's fine. But people's attention spans are a lot smaller, so it's not that long. But there are interviews with myself, with Lucas, with Linche, and with Natasha. Just the process of kind of their thoughts on making the film, and you get some bits behind the scenes and all that, which is cool. There's also going to be a video of behind the scenes of making of the music. And so the score for House of Abraham was written by Stefan Schmidt, who's my composer. He's been my composer on all my films. And what I think was super cool about this one is we'll often record live musicians, but a lot of the horror music is kind of more sound. And so we only had one musician that we recorded, and we got to record in LA at the Village Studios. I don't know if everyone's been there, but it is so many big bands like the Chili Peppers and I'm spacing on the rest of the names, but like incredible bands have recorded there. So, or just musicians. So anyway, we recorded Tina Guo, who is a cellist. And if you look her up, I mean, she's got to be one of the most well-known cellists on the planet. And so she did some of the music for during the drowning scene and the suffocation scene. And so there's a behind the scenes kind of the creation of that. And Tina works with Hans Zimmer a lot. She worked on the score for Wonder Woman, and yeah, she's quite incredible. And it was really fun to work with. So there's that's on the behind this or the special features. And then Lucas and I did the directors and writers commentary. So we had a blast a couple weeks ago and just watched the film together and chatted and was like, oh, remember this scene, remember that scene. And so you get all the secrets behind the scenes as we're watching. So that is a feature as well. And then the last thing, I don't know if we're going to make the deadline in time, but the song that opens and closes the film over the credits is a song called Lucy by a local Tucson band called the Hawthorne Experience. And so I'm going to be directing the music video for Lucy actually in a couple of weeks in Tucson. And hopefully we can get that finished and up on the DVD, which would be pretty cool. It'll be the band performing and then some images from the film as well. So
super cool. Where can we get the hard copy?
So you can get it from the website, and I believe the pre-order is going to happen around December 9th. So you can order them for Christmas gifts, all of that, but they won't actually be shipped, I think, until about mid-January. We're working with a great company that does manufacture on demand. And so they sell on Amazon, Walmart. They have their own website called Oh my God, I'm going to get it wrong. Movie Zing. That's what it's called. Movie Zing, ZYNG. You can order it from there. But all those links will be on our website as soon as the pre-order is available. So
awesome.
That's all the stuff. I know.
So you're speaking about music, and you said something earlier about your son being involved.
Yes. Well, so since we're all chatting here, I'll share this was probably the worst moment and the best moment on this film. So the film was finished. So we shot it in spring 2023 in Austin. Had a finished film spring 2024, and we started screening it for distributors and all of that, which was a whole journey. And then we signed with our theatrical distributor spring 2025. So anyway, we were scheduled to open in New York on June 13th. It was a sold out screening weekend, I think, in New York, and we played theaters there for a week and then other limited theaters across the US. But 10 days before we open in New York, I'm working with our music supervisor, and the music supervisor's job is to not only curate music and help us find original songs for the film, but to get the rights to those. And so we had found this film that was this kind of funky 60s song, and literally Lucas found it and brought it to set, and we'd play it on set. It was such a great song that was kind of upbeat but creepy and all the things. And so anyway, and no one's ever heard of it anytime I bring it up to people. So when we go to get the rights to this music, of course, I think it was Sony owned one side and Warner Chappell had the other. And so they knew we had this deadline. And so they jacked the price up so much, which is so lame. But anyway, so 10 days before, they just decide, no, they're not even going to give us the rights at all. They're done negotiating, period, end of story. So I was like, what? We have 10 days. The DCP is printing. That's, the file that the theaters need to show the film. And it was such a horrible negative that I was like, okay, universe, you've clearly got something crazy in mind to just show me what this is.
Yeah. Can I get a hint, please? Can I get a hint?
Yeah. Tell me something, because I'm about to have a panic attack. So I kind of got my little team together. So I reached out to my editor, Lars Gustafson, who cut the film. He did an incredible job. And then Lucas, and then my music supervisor. And then I have 2 sons who are in a band in Tucson. Spoiler alert, that's where the story's going. So I called Kenny, the drummer, and I was like, hey, can you help me like think of some music for this? And he's like, okay, no pressure, Mom, but check out our song Lucy. And I'm like, okay, let me see. And so I put it with the footage of the film, and oh, you guys, it worked better than the other one. And guess what? I could get the rights because, they're my kids. So anyway,
if you want Christmas, you know what you can do for me.
And now he has credits.
Yes. So it's actually been an incredible gift to have this collaboration happen. And so the last couple of months we've been playing different markets, especially Texas. So the band went on tour in Texas, and so the film would play, and then they would play the after party. And so yeah, shout out to the Hawthorne Experience. Look them up on Spotify. I mean, I know I am their mom, but their music is really rad. So check it out.
I'm assuming we can find them on Instagram too.
Yeah. They're on Instagram, the Hawthorne Experience. Hawthorne. Yeah. So
let's check that out.
Yeah. And so now I'm gonna direct the music video, and so for Lucy, we'll get some footage of them performing, and then we'll cut that in with footage for the film. Yeah, Lucy's a great song, and the lyrics are really obscure and ambiguous. There they are. Yeah, if you scroll down, you can see, I think that's a top right photo. There they are on the red carpet with the House of Abraham poster.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're like recreating the image. Yeah, on that top right one, the top one is William Belcher, and he's my oldest son. He's the singer and lead guitar, and then we've got Kenny in the hat, sunglasses. He's the drummer. My second son, and then Jonah. He's the bassist. So yeah, good tunes.
Yeah, I just heard a little snippet of it in my ear. I found them on Apple Music, and that's pretty groovy, pretty rad.
Yeah, they
So-
really. I love their music, and now that I've been in Tucson, I've been able to see them play live, and they're a lot of fun. So yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to feature them later on.
Yeah. There's William. Some concert jumping. Yeah. Yeah. And their attire and their choice of what they wear and everything is really colorful and fun. So we're working on that right now, sort of in pre-production, figuring out costuming, what they'll wear, and we're gonna.
Yeah, I like the shirt and the Vans, the good old checkered Vans.
I know, right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Style.
Who was in that music festival? Cheap
Yeah.
Trick.
Cheap Trick, and then
Ooh.
also the English Beat. I love the English Beat. Remember them? So, and then
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah, Arrested Development, no kidding.
That's a pretty sick lineup.
yep, yeah. Well, so for the music video, we're gonna do 2 locations, one lighter exterior and then one darker, sort of moody interior, to sort of mirror. So the song Lucy, if you listen to it, is about this woman who's packing up her overnight, and where's she going and what's she doing. She's kind of figuring out her life and life decisions, and that's exactly what Dee is doing in the opening of the film. We see her driving and where's she going and what's going on. So Lucy and Dee really line up on their sort of their stories. And so the exterior will probably be out in the desert with some saguaros and all that, and then interior, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, we're gonna shoot that soon, so I'm excited.
That's awesome. That is so cool to be able to just have that experience with your family members, especially your children, and seeing them, expand and grow, and then having the whole audition experience with them. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think there's a few parents on here. There's nothing. It's been such a joy, and I don't know if you guys caught it who saw the film, and that Kenny has a little cameo in it. So do you remember when Abraham has a couple of videos of few people who have died and come back to life?
Yeah. Yep.
So the kid
Oh.
with the guitar, that's Kenny. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
All
yeah.
right, well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to have to rewatch
Yeah, I
the
remember
movie
that
now.
scene, but yeah.
Like, oh, no,
That's
Yeah,
not
you gotta
that.
rewatch. I feel like House of Abraham has some at least I've been told by people, and I think so too, who has some good rewatching potential, because we plant a lot of things in there that once you get to the end and kind of find out some things, looking back and going, oh, there was that, and it really, I think it's worth watching it. And if you have the Blu-ray, then you can listen to the commentary when you do that. So
Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies where it would be fun to watch it with someone who's never seen it before while you've seen it, just to see
So
that
you can
they're,
just
because
look at their reaction as you're watching it.
Yeah, it is. That's cool. Obviously, I've seen it many, many, many times. But watching it, everyone views movies mostly on streaming or DVDs or whatever. There's not as many people going to the theaters. I hope we can change that. But I'm thrilled that we had a theatrical journey with this film. It was great, and probably our best audiences was our Austin screening, obviously, because we filmed it there and it was super sold out. It was amazing. And then also Los Angeles was sold out as well. And just being in the theater with other people, I saw this thing once that when you're in a theater and watching the same movie all together, something about people's brain waves like connect, and there's something similar that happens, that group experience, and there's nothing quite like it, I think. So
yeah, no, that's definitely the people that don't go to theaters and don't go to go watch the movie, when it is in a theatrical, they're really missing out. I try to take my kids to the movies as much as we can go. It is getting severely expensive nowadays, especially when you add in drinks and food, and now all the collectible popcorn tins that are coming out their ears. No, I want that. No, you're not. We have enough at the house. We're good. But just the experience of seeing it in the theater, I miss drive-ins. I remember going to drive-ins, and I loved drive-ins. They I think they still have one around here. I'm not sure. There was a storm that came through and did a lot of damage to it. But,
oh no.
We used to go to that too, and that seemed to be the best deal outside the bugs. But you got two movies for like basically the price of one, and then they had kind of like bellhop service to the car for your concessions. They had a little app that you ordered your stuff, and then people would roll up, and here you go, here's your stuff, and I'm like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I think it used to be like 15 a carload for the one that was around here. They just sold it probably 3-4 years ago.
Now there's a drive-in, probably about an hour south of Austin, and I have a short film that I directed called Javelina Run. That's a comedy western, and there was a film festival that was at this theater, so I got to see one of my films at the drive-in, which is great. And I hope you're right that it's making a comeback. Yeah, drive-ins are so fun.
Yeah, I miss that experience. The only experience I didn't miss from that was sneaking into them in my buddy's trunk. That was horrible. But outside of that, it was great. So, what's the future look like for you? You're doing shorts. You're doing music videos. Do you have any other full feature films that you kind of have bouncing around, or ideas?
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm in development on a romantic comedy, so it's a very different genre, and I've had the rights to this script for a while. I'll give you the quick log line. It is it's about a woman who's a writer, and she writes kind of this heavy feminine dystopian novels. She's a bit of a snob, and she's married, but no real romance going on in that relationship when her writing agent fires her, and she's forced to take a job writing erotic romance novels. And it's called Dirty Words. So
That's a hell of a turn right there.
yeah, it's very fish out of water. It is, the script is so much fun. I hesitate because if I say romantic comedy, which it is, but it's also kind of like a raunchy female-led comedy, kind of like a Bridesmaids. So
Okay.
The script is so much fun, and I'm about 75% financed. So anyone out there who wants to invest in film, find me. We do, that romance novel world. We do have someone attached to do a cameo. And when I say his name, I want honesty from all of you. If you guys know who he is, does anyone know, when you think of romance novels, do you know who Fabio is?
Yes.
He got
Yes.
smacked in the face at a theme park when I was in Virginia. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So there's some recognition there. All right, cool. I've been now going down this rabbit hole of collecting books from him, for his books, like at the the half price book with his like long hair and all the things on the cover.
Yes.
So he's very, very nice, and I've connected with his agent, and he did a video for me for a fundraising event that I was having, and so he's so later on in the film they go to this kind of like the Oscars for erotic romance novels, the big award ceremony, and so he's the MC. So he rolls in on the big hog with like a long stem red rose. So
I can see it in my head.
Yeah, right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's I think what's next. I've also got a couple of drama scripts that I've read that I really love, and so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the rest of the financing comes in for Dirty Words, and then we'll go into production in Austin in 2026. That's kind of the goal, hopefully.
Very cool. So with this, your first, horror psychological thriller under your belt, does this inspire you to do more later on? Is this
It absolutely does. Yeah. So going into this, I have to be honest, I wasn't a huge horror fan, but especially when we got Lynn on board, I had to, definitely start watching some horror films. So probably the one I enjoyed the most that I was so freaked out to watch was Saw. I put that off for years. Have you guys seen that movie?
All 10 of them?
Yep, all of them.
Oh wow, damn. Okay. So I just wasn't sure what to expect, and I sat down and I watched it, and I loved that movie, and the twist at the end. And I think for me, what the kind of horror that I love is less the supernatural and the monsters, but where human nature is the monster. And obviously in House of Abraham, that is the evil is human nature, and damn, we humans can be pretty evil. So yeah.
Oh yeah. There's really no monsters out there that can compare to what happens when we go bad. I mean, seeing. But I think that's what I really liked about your movie, about the House of Abraham, was there was still a sense of, is he really bad? Is this really a bad thing? During the first initial part of it. And then, of course, later on, you're like, oh shit. But, the psychological terror horror is definitely probably more scary than a monster chasing you down. I mean, the Freddys and the Jasons and the Chuckies, they're it's terrifying concepts, but they're fun to watch, because it's bordering on the absurd. So it's if you're, a kid, of course you're going to be scared of Freddy popping out of your dreams and stuff like that. But it's kind of like when I watched Black Phone. that kind of had, the first one. That kind of had that oh God, effect to it. Saying, seeing somebody that seems completely normal, then you see him on the other side, and it's like, oh shit, that's bad. I don't want to run into that guy. No, because it gives you the aspect of, wow, this could really happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
you're
that's
not you're not really going to see some 7-foot tall guy in coveralls and a white mask running around with a butcher knife, and catching up to you no matter how fast you run. It's the people you don't see coming. Like as over the top is what American Psycho. That was another good one. Christian Bale, when he played in that I thought he played that role really well. And it's those ones that make you think about, you walk out your door, you look, across to your neighbors, you see your neighbors waving at you. You're like, are you really waving at me because you want to be nice? Or are you plotting my death? What's going on? So.
Well, I think horror is also, has a wider kind of range now. Like,
Yeah, it has a
films,
really wide spectrum of horror.
Yeah, like films like Get Out or Quiet Place, like those play. I feel like I've heard like smart horror or elevated horror or all these. They're more subtle, which I think kind of get you more. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, for sure. They've, horror, like Russell was saying, is such a wide spectrum now that there can be a lot more drama and character development. Not everything's just there for like a quick gore or like jump scare. It's more psychological nowadays.
Yeah, and it gets you a little more invested in the story, I feel like, a lot of the times.
Yeah.
You'll just tune into it a little bit more.
I think a really underrated one was Identity with John Cusack.
Tell me about that one.
Oh, I can't, because if I do, it'll spoil it. But what I can tell you is it starts off with a group of people at a hotel, and all of a sudden they start dying off. But the end is where the real, like, oh shit moment comes in. So if you get a chance,
Identity. Okay.
Go check out Identity with John Cusack. It's Vincent D'Onofrio, John Cusack. I can't remember the rest of the people in there, but that one really stands out in my head as far as psychological horror, and it's like I said, it is severely underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, great. Did any of you guys see? It's not psychological so much, but it's an interesting take on. You call it a horror. Is the movie Sinners?
Yes.
I have started to watch it. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
I found I had a little bit of issues, or some issues with the story and the protagonist, who was the protagonist, all of that. But I saw it twice in the theater, and it was just a fun ride. It was a great ride. Yep. And I think, I can get into the weeds with writing and stories and how is this and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, if it's a fun ride and you enjoyed it and it was entertaining, then I think it's a win. So so that's how I felt about Sinners. Yeah, I thought it was unique.
I like the whole take on the vampire mythos. And
it's nice to see someone do something new with that, because
Let's see. Trippin says Identity was an awesome movie. But yeah, Sinners was definitely a new take on the whole vampire mythos, and then everything they did with that, with like integrating music effects, music effects, and it tracks, the monsters inside of us, I guess. I thought that was, that was fun, a fun ride to kind of take, and to see something new, not the same old trope, the same, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, true.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean, back to Lynn Shay for a second. I assume you guys are fans of the Insidious franchise.
Oh
Yes,
yes.
I
ma'am.
like the first one.
Yeah, yeah. She just got back from Australia last week and is filming the next one. I'm not sure what number we're on, but
6 or
I
7.
think it's six.
Mm.
Six.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes,
because
that-
Red Door was the last one, I believe.
And
okay,
it was okay.
yeah.
did we just get an exclusive? An exclusive tidbit?
You heard it here first.
Well, you know what? Also, Lynn was so funny. I don't know what this was, but she posted last week on Facebook in all exclamation points. She's like, "Someone said I'm retiring, and they are wrong." She was so pissed about it. I don't know who said that Lynn's retiring, but she is not.
Can we tell you a funny story that was kind of like a Mandela effect thing?
Sure.
So when we were looking at like the cast listing for House of Abraham, it was like Lynn Shay, and we were all like, I thought we heard that Lynn Shay had died a couple years back. You know, like the whole no, but like it was crazy because like the whole Mandela thing, people thought he died back in like the 80s, and he really didn't die until like sometime in the mid 2000s. And it was just one of those things where it's like we all were like, whoa, did this actually happen? And it was like, well, no, because she's not. But like, why do we remember that was like announced or something?
That
It
is
threw us for a
interesting.
loop.
A few people have asked that. That's a trip. No, she is alive and well,
Very
and
well and kicking ass.
she is. She is. She's 82. She's so amazing and so sweet. She'll text me and be like, "Lisa, this is just the beginning." Like she's just so rad. She's like the best. I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, we were very happy to see that myth was broken.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think every celebrity, if there hasn't been a fake news story about them dying, they just
At least
haven't
once.
made it to the top yet.
Forget
Yeah,
Abe was
so-
Abe Gabode. I think they said it was like 6 times, and he was like, "No, I'm fine." He's like, "No one's gonna." I remember he joked and said no one was gonna believe it when it actually happened.
Yeah, no
Oh
kidding.
my gosh, it's like the wolf. Yeah. Well, that's how I know I'll make it when they're like, "Lisa Belcher's dead." Then I'll be like, "Yes, okay."
I have died! Yay! Wait a minute, shit. No. So growing up, you said you weren't big into horror. What was your favorite movies growing up?
Let's see. Growing up, definitely loved the Back to the Future movies. Those are incredible. One of my favorite films, it's so different than House of Abraham, but is Life is Beautiful. Has anyone ever seen that? The Italian film. Roberto Bernini. It takes place during the Holocaust, but it's a lighthearted story, although it has like an interesting sort of dark background to it. That was one of my favorites. When I think of like my top 10, I pulled it up last night. I just started watching it again. Is The Hangover?
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think that is the most brilliant premise ever. Like, oh my God, what happened last night? We have to figure it out. So that's I love that movie. What else? I love the newer the remake of Karate Kid with Jaden Smith. That's
Wow.
that's one
That's
I
a
know.
hot take. That's a hot take.
I don't.
It's not a bad movie.
There's something about a father-son story that I love. That's Life is Beautiful is the same. It's kind of a father-son story. Don't know why, but that's yeah. I don't know what else. Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean,
Yes.
Classic.
yeah.
So if you got approached to redo a movie,
Okay.
what would be your movie that you would want to either do a remake of or do a continuation of?
Wow, that's a heavy question. Because if I tell you the answer to like one of my favorite movies, then I would have like major imposter syndrome, and I'd be like, no way, I can't do it as well as they did. But let's think. Oh no. Let's maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a film that like had potential but kind of failed. Do you see the you ever
Okay.
see those movies and you're like, my God, they had so much money and then they just missed it. There's something I saw
So
recently.
many. So
Green
many.
Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Aragon.
The sequel trilogy. The entire sequel trilogy. Sorry.
Of Star Wars. Star Wars is what he means.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was that just wasn't like they should have done this and they should have done that. I don't know. But I will just tell you, I don't know if it could be a sequel or what it could be, but one that I absolutely loved. Has anyone seen Begonia yet?
Begonia. No, what's that?
Mm-mm.
Begonia, it just came out maybe 30 days ago. It's Yorgos Lantham, I can never say his name exactly right, with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. No one's seen it yet? Okay.
No, but I'm going to have to. I love Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you guys, I have like, okay, I'm a big believer, especially with films not giving big expectations, because when I go into a movie with high expectations, sometimes I don't love it. But I had sort of high expectations for Begonia, but this is probably just going to create them for you. But I have never in my career of watching movies had such a visceral emotional reaction to a film. So the premise is it's this big corporate executive played by Emma Stone is kidnapped by these crazy dudes, Jesse Plemons and another guy, because they believe she's an alien. And that's like what gets you into the story. And I'm not going to say much more because it takes you on all these twists and turns, and I don't know what it was, but it was emotional for me. And the characters were so well developed. And I just had such empathy. If Jesse Plemons doesn't win an Oscar for this, like, I don't know, I might quit. I'm just kidding. But it's really good. So that's great. And then in contrast, has anyone seen One Battle After Another? Yeah, it's the.
I might be out of the loop. What is that one about?
That's okay. That's Leonardo DiCaprio. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film.
I've seen a lot of previews for that.
Okay. Where he's thrown out of the car by
Benicio del Toro.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's on my list to actually see.
So I did not like that movie at all. I'm probably not very popular. There were some incredible performances, but it just, I don't know, story-wise,
fell
didn't
flat.
work. I think I don't know why I'm comparing it to Begonia because they're different, but they're probably going to both have some Oscar noms, and I saw them like one after the other. And there's incredible actors and incredible performances, but the character creation, whatever build up in One Battle After Another which just wasn't there for me. I just didn't lean into their characters. In contrast, in Begonia, I cared so much about those characters. So anyway, that's 2 films I've seen recently.
I'm going to check out this Begonia one because I'm watching the trailer right now. And damn, okay.
Yeah, the premise sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, some of his films are hit or miss. He did like The Lobster. He does really kind of weird things. He did
Lobster wasn't too bad. That was interesting.
Yeah, but what's the one that he did? Poor Things. Oh, I loved Poor Things.
Okay.
That was as well. So yeah, I'm leaning away from some horror films, so we can take it back to horror if you want.
Well, this show's. We are a horror show, yes, but our guests, when we have guests on, the show is about the guests. So whatever you wish to talk about, we will talk about.
Okay.
And you're definitely leading us down some rabbit holes that, like, I didn't even hear anything about Begonia, but looking at it and then reading the synopsis, oh yeah, that's definitely something that I want to dive into because Emma Stone, she's an amazing actress, and that trailer is definitely interesting.
Yeah, there's some horror elements of it.
Yeah,
and I'll leave it there. It's yeah. There's some blood. It's good. Let's talk about blood. I find
This is a question for you. I know where this is going, I think. Go ahead.
Well, I think it was fun. There's some blood, spoiler alert, in House of Abraham. But it's a fascinating sort of thing to freak out your audience and to so I'm going to broaden that even more than the blood. But so there's a moment in House of Abraham where we're sort of cutting back and forth. There's two scenes happening, and I think you guys are going to know, and I don't want to spoil it for others, but there's a bit of a torture thing, and it gets right up in there in the camera, and the whole audience gets kind of grossed out by that. But as far as heavy scenes in House of Abraham, I think the drowning scene, I've watched it 8 million times, as you guys can imagine, and I still absolutely cringe. I think there's not any blood in it, but I mean, I would call that horror. Would you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, drowning is a big fear.
Yeah, anything that taps into your primal fears, is definitely in the horror realm.
especially like in the sequence and what it happens.
Yeah, that was like, damn, okay. And then just seeing the other side of it.
Yeah, it kind of gave you that first little look onto the other side of it.
The whole antagonist compared to the victim, I was like, damn, that's okay. That's twisted. That is, damn, okay. I can get down with that.
Will Magnuson, who plays the role of Jonathan, who is who's drowning essentially. It was that scene took a lot to pull together. We had a day and a half to shoot it, and we had underwater cameras, and then obviously we had cameras documenting the exterior and all of that. And we had a stunt coordinator on board and stunt people to keep our actors safe, and it was intense. I mean, it was in April in Austin, so it wasn't cold, but those guys being in the pool all day, we had to spend some budget to heat the pool for them.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
so they weren't dying. But yeah, it was. I'm happy with the way that it turned out and the journey it takes, and then the figuring out the music for it was also interesting. And like I mentioned, Tina Guo, the cello, that was kind of inspired. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce her name, but the Joker, the movie The Joker, the woman who scored it uses a lot of cello in that, which was pretty cool. Well,
cello is definitely a really good instrument to use for building tension and terror with. The low frequency, the low bass, and the thrum of it through the theater. Yeah, it's a good choice. So
it's sort of haunting.
Yes. So this is one of Austin's famous questions we asked people.
Oh, you want me to ask it?
We had a whole discussion on it. So Austin, take it away.
All right. So you were talking about gore, right? And I asked this question to Tim when we have on the show, but do you feel like gore makes a movie scarier or detracts from it? And by gore, I usually mean like overdoing it in the gore section, like something crazy.
Yeah, that's
not the tasteful way that it was done in House of Abraham, where it was just enough to really hit you in the squeams.
Yeah, it was very nonchalant.
Like Art the Clown.
What'd you say, Gold? I didn't hear that.
I said I think Austin's more so like Art the Clown. Just ripping someone's arm off and beating them with it.
Just like Saw, or those movies where the gore is the main selling point of the film.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think if I know you're not saying either or, but if I had to pick one, I would say it potentially can detract, but I think our human brains are the scariest, and we can go to the deepest, darkest places. So obviously, I mean, one of the classic scary movies that at least was for me was Jaws, and I guess they had problems, or so you hear on all the podcasts or whatever, with the mechanical shark. And so you see very little of the shark, but you see the reaction on those actors' faces, which is horrifying. And so in our minds, we're going to the deep dark place of where, you know, what's happening and all of that. So so I think teases and a little bit of it and all of that. I mean, you know, whatever your jam, but for me, less is more.
Agreed. Because
Everything has to pay off.
well,
Yeah.
You have to build and pay off like with Jaws, the whole biting scene with the boat biting in half or whatever like that. There's not a ton of gore throughout Jaws, but what is there is what I guess you'd say believable. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a majority of the gore in Jaws is just like blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I know there's not so much gore there, but
and that does just leave it open for the imagination on what's going on underneath that water.
True. Yeah, but just not seeing as much of the shark is so powerful. And I always think of this when I go into production on a film, like every person that's sitting in that audience has a different life and different experiences and things to bring to it. So no one is going to see the same movie. They all pull from different things. So I think if you can tap into humans and their individual thoughts and fears and all of that, that's where you win.
Yeah. And especially with the time period that Jaws was released, you know, having, you know, as far as like research wise and all the Shark Weeks and documentaries on TV, there wasn't any of that. So everybody, you know, go to the water and you see this big fish coming along eating everybody. It was definitely a fear. It was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. All right, come on, kids. We're not going to the beach. We're going to the mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going someplace a little bit safer. But then you have grizzly and all the other
cocaine bear.
Cocaine bear. Get the hell.
Bigfoot. That's what Jaws was secretly made by Bigfoot to lure people to go to the mountains instead of the beach.
That's
there
what
you go. There's my theory for this.
Yeah, I think the idea of fear is kind of fascinating. I remember going into this, and Lucas and I were like, all right, let's make a one-rim horror, because horror, the idea of fear is quite universal around this planet, no matter where you live, no matter what your language is or your culture. I mean, we all understand fear, whereas comedy is different, right? Everybody has a different sense of humor in different parts of the world or whatever. And so that's kind of harder to nail comedy. Whereas fear is, everybody fears death or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, especially with, you know, like I said earlier, the psychological horror and man being, you know, the scariest monster and beast out there, you know, walking out your door, seeing your neighbors and not knowing, you know, are they really hiding bodies underneath their floorboards, or what's going on with them? They seem a little bit too happy for the neighborhood. So
yeah.
It's you know, it's definitely, it seems like it's the easiest. You would think it would be the easiest thing to pull off, but it takes a really compelling story to, you know, cause somebody fear, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes a lot more of a build-up. Comedy kind of easy. Romance is easy because those are happy things. Those are things you want to think about. Whereas fear and death and being scared, nobody wants to think about that. Nobody wants let's push the negative out and invite the positive in, right? Nobody wants to think about that. But, you know, a really good hook in a horror movie makes you think about it without you wanting to. I think that's where House of Abraham, you know, really excelled at, was the topic that they brought up is like, damn, okay. Yeah, that's my take.
Well, and I think if the characters are developed well and you care about them, then when the fear comes along, or even the romance or whatever, I mean, almost any genre, you have to care about, especially about our main character, but you have to care about those characters in order to kind of go along the journey that filmmaker is taking you on. And I think films are better when characters are developed,
fleshed out. Yeah.
That's rare in horror a lot of the times, because I mean, usually are rooting to see who the slasher takes next rather than rooting for them to get away.
Yeah, that's true.
Shit, most of the time I'm rooting for the slasher with some of the people in those movies.
Exactly.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're usually made out to be characters like, I don't care if that, like there may be one, but yeah.
Yeah, you always have to have the one that you care about, but the rest, it seems like they fill the rest of the people with like, assholes. Like good. I hope the killer catches you because that was a dick move.
Was there anyone you guys were rooting for in the House of Abraham?
Definitely
D.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say the couple the couple in the film.
Jonathan
the couple were good. Yes.
Yeah.
I was kind of rooting for the asshole at the beginning.
For Pierre?
Yeah.
The long hair? Yeah.
Yeah, with the pony. Yeah, I was kind of rooting for him.
Oh, I love that. Oh, shout out to
I was
Sean
rooting for the diver
who plays Pierre. He's the opposite of an asshole. He's great. He was really great to work.
Well, he plays a good asshole.
I was rooting for Lynn. I was really, really rooting for Beatrice. I want to see her.
Well, she obviously made it out a little bit.
Yeah.
For a little while.
It's funny that you say that because on the page, and Beatrice, you can tell she was how do I explain it? I had less empathy for her because she's just, she's doing Abraham's sort of dirty work as we learn. But that scene I was telling you from the still of where her and Abraham are sort of standing in the door there. That's the first scene, as I told you, that we filmed. And so Lynn in that moment and playing Beatrice, in her performance, I had so much empathy for Beatrice. I felt for her.
Yeah.
So, and you'll see when you watch the movie a little what their relationship is like and how he treats her and how she treats him and what that all is. And in that scene in particular, I was like, wow, she's, my heart sort of broke for her.
Yeah.
So I think that's
it. That moment you're speaking, it was like, damn.
Yeah.
You did kind of catch a little bit of empathy towards her plight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and as you talked about kind of the subject of what brings us into the House of Abraham, it's been interesting when people ask about the film and everything. And so the premise is, for all of you out there who haven't seen it, is people come to the House of Abraham to end their lives. And they're all having tough times. And the subject of suicide is very sensitive. But as you go into it, you sort of realize that's not what it's about. But it does bring up some interesting sort of dramatic questions. So we've got psychological thriller and we've got horror, but there are some dramatic elements to it. And that is, do we have the right to choose when our lives end? There's a lot of countries out there that say, no, that's not acceptable. And some that say yes. And then some religions that say, yes, that's acceptable or not. And we all kind of have, it's just an interesting topic. So I've heard some fascinating conversations that have come off the film on that. Did you guys have any thoughts on that as you watched it without spoiling?
I'll do my best to not spoil. It was pretty just a messed up throwaway line that one of the characters said, that their pastor gave them the information on how to find the house.
Right? No. Yeah.
And you remember my response to that? Of course it would be. That's awesome.
That was insane.
There's definitely two characters in the movie, and how they interact in the movie, they're, it's like the yin and yang and polar opposites, and then seeing the resolution of that was rough. that was really rough. Seeing that dynamic, play itself all the way out, and I want to think in my head that there was some coercion that was deeper than just the upfront part. But if you think about it, then it probably, based on that dynamic between the characters, it's really not that far-fetched to get that other person to the point that they ended at. Well, not quite ended at, but to where they went to. So
yeah. Well, and also, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, there's quite a variety, I guess, for lack of a better word, of characters from different walks of life who come to the House of Abraham this particular weekend. And when I look at it and I consider these characters, there's one character, Victor, played by Gary Clark, and he comes to the House of Abraham because he had to go through the process of his family going through Alzheimer's and the struggle that the caregivers he and his family had to go through. And so he's on this path as he's figured this out through his health. And Gary's actually in his 90s. So we'll say that character's in his 90s as well. And so he doesn't want his family to have to go through this. So he wants to end things before the suffering has to be so horrible for them. So when I consider this just like ethically, like, man, that sounds fair. I just, Lisa, thinking about that, like, okay, I wouldn't want to put my family through that as well. But then there are these young lovers who come who are wanting to end things, and they're young and they have their whole lives ahead of them. They're having struggles. So that doesn't seem right for them to want to end things. And every character you look at as their reasoning, and it's, I don't know, it just makes you think.
Yeah. I always tell my kids that, it's joking, semi-joking. It's not really joking. If I ever get in a situation like that, I'm going to go find a bear. I'm going to wrestle a bear. That's how I want to go out.
Yep.
And
like a warrior.
And honestly, a human, like especially an older, beat-up human trying to fight this massive animal, what the end result's going to be. But really, is it? Because I'm going out in battle like a damn Viking. So, I mean, come on.
I might tell my
there's always
kids.
things.
Oh, yeah. If I'm speculating on the, if I get something or whatever, my term is, you got the bear, I'm checking myself into the House of Abraham. So those are my words, when you're having a bad day, whatever. And the line that he uses, life is not for everyone, when he sort of toasts to death, my investors, they think that's a great line that should be on a t-shirt and a baseball hat, and it could be seen as a comedic thing, right? You're seeing the guy that's cutting the tree too close to the electrical line like an idiot, and you're like, life is not for everyone. So I don't know if that line will ever
Here's your sign. There it is. It definitely goes deeper than just a typical psychological horror movie. It taps into that what if of the human brain. What would you do? What would your, especially when you learn the backstories, the reasons why for everybody, then you're like, damn.
Yeah, because there's, like you said, there's some where you're like, I understand why you would. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I know. It's a heavy place to go.
Yeah, and then there's the one character that's like, why? I get the feelings, but why? And it's like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I found this sort of shocking and fascinating, but possibly good as well. There's an organization called NAMI, which is the National Association of Mental Illness, if you're familiar. And I had a few people from the Austin chapter come to the screening, and they really wanted to collaborate with me on this film, and we may still do that. And I just was like, wow, wait, what? This is like horror, thriller, entertainment, all of that. But I had an experience that I shared with them, and this was I had a glass of wine with a few women, and they were people. One I knew, but the other two I didn't know, and they'd all watched the trailer, so they didn't. They knew that the element of suicide was part of the premise for it, but they didn't know much about it, and so we just had a really open conversation about that subject. And one woman opened up that she tried when she was younger, when she was 12 years old, and shared this story with us. And the other shared that her child had attempted suicide. And we just had this really open and comfortable kind of conversation with each other, which was quite fascinating. And so back to NAMI, they said, this is how change happens when people talk about things. And we've had, on social media and distributors and all of that, the word suicide is a big, cancel blocking sort of term. So, we've avoided it in the premise and all of that. But NAMI believes if we talk about things, that's how we make things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
You don't bury stuff like that. That's what leads to that,
Yeah, that's there's been several points over my life that have gone to dark places, and then places I've helped people out of those dark places, and it's the one constant is communication.
Yeah.
If you're not communicating about it, whether it be the person going through it or the person's around seeing the signs but not saying anything about it, that's where it kind of branches off. Are you going to stand by and let it happen, or are you going to be the asshole that brings it up and just breaches the subject? And that might be what that person needs, instead of see, nobody really cares, so it's not going to matter anyways.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, it's really tough to think about which way you're going to go with it, because you don't really want to take a chance of losing a friend or losing a family member, either way, but
yeah,
I think the person you're supposed to is
right.
right. You got to say something. You got to talk.
The crunching is loud.
Oh, can you hear my crunching? I'm sorry. I thought I had myself munched out. I'm so sorry.
It's loud as hell.
They are kettle cooked. I apologize.
We're not that kind of channel, dude.
Couldn't focus on the serious conversation we were having. I was
Bro's doing a freaking mukbang over there.
Is he eating?
Okay, well,
but yeah, it's definitely a rough one. Definitely one that not a lot of people want to take a look at.
Yeah.
Especially those that have experienced or faced it, or been down that road themselves.
Yeah.
But
for sure. And it is, it's a House of Abraham can be triggering if that's a sensitive subject for you.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that's not what the film is about. If there's a theme or kind of a message to the film, it's really more about manipulation and how and it's kind of a commentary to what's happening in our world right now, in the media and politics and all of that. There's a lot of people in power that have more money and more experience and manipulating those that are more vulnerable, and that's kind of what Abraham ends up doing. It's be careful who you trust, right, when you're at your lowest.
Yeah. So. I mean, there was, I don't know. This is, this shouldn't spoil it too much. During the first 5-10 minutes, it seemed very cultish. It had very, very cultish undertones. undertones in the very beginning of the movie. That's kind of where my mind is. I'm always trying to figure it out. And I was like, oh, I know, it's a cult. And then the later it went, I was like, oh shit, it's not. Okay.
No, it was just a cover up so that they were like, oh, well, they were part of a cult. It was to that way there was like plausible deniability of like, hey, they were
Mhm.
a
That
cult or
little
whatever.
wiggle room, as he liked to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's just do it this way. So in 3 months, we'll give it a 3-month time span. So it's in November. So December, January, February. We're gonna have you back on, right?
Okay.
And we're going to be able to talk about the movie instead of just
Hinting
like,
around it.
3 months, you give plenty of people, everybody in the chat, spread the word, time to see it and like absorb it and get an idea of what we're talking, because I really want to go in depth with the movie with you.
Yeah, it's really hard not to just.
Yeah. So like
No, I love it. Let's do that and just put a big spoiler alert over the front of it and go and then say, do a shout out to all or let all your listeners know, go watch the film, prepare yourself, whatever, and then we'll talk. I agree. Yeah, that's why I've loved doing Q&As, because it's right in the with the audience right there, and I can speak very freely about
and getting that instant feedback of how they feel about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I would love to come back on, and then maybe Lucas can come along with me. And
oh, definitely, because I want to pick his brain for like creating this.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that was genius.
Right.
And we need to talk to Lin Shaye about why she smelled that person's shoe.
Oh my God, yes. What was your thought process?
Yeah. That was total improv. There was the shoe in there, and she chose.
She said, "I'm gonna run with it."
I've got this. Yeah, that's definitely a scene that I will not forget, because it was just like out of the blue. Like, what is she doing?
What's going on?
What the hell?
So wait, no, it's just that name.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, it's all right. I'm writing that down. Hold on. I'm not going to forget this.
What?
So,
you have a question?
February.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to plan for this because it really is hard not to just chime in with so many details.
Yeah.
House of Abraham spoiler talk.
Because I mean, like Austin had said, it was maybe 10 minutes in, right when they were eating dinner. I was sucked in. The rest of the movie, I was just.
And we all had different theories.
Just zoned in. Yep.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, as indie filmmaker, it's we didn't have a huge budget or anything, and so it's we're lots of constraints. And Lucas, wrote it with a lower budget in mind, and just kind of, we don't have all the expensive.
But that's crazy, because like we're watching a movie, and the production value seems like up there with Hollywood.
Yeah, it is.
Hollywood, millions and millions of dollars levels of production. This movie seemed like right on point up there with those ones.
And let's be perfectly honest. A lot of the movies from like big Hollywood do not need their overinflated budgets.
Yeah.
And I don't. Besides, like maybe a bigger marketing budget, like just to get it out there further, I don't think having like a bigger budget would have necessarily made the film better. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it was perfect.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have a bad thing to say about it.
No, I think working with what you had turned out perfectly.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm with you, Austin, on the big budgets. That's part of the things, like when I see a movie. Valentine's Day. And then maybe by then, can I manifest and put it out there that Dirty Words will be financed and going into production? How about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make that happen.
We get the inside scoop on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. No, but back to budget. Every movie is creative and has its own things, but did you guys ever see that movie Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yes.
I just felt for the budget that was and how long it was that it just kind of makes me a little mad because I'm like, you guys just give me like 1 or 2 of those millions and I could have made like a whole nother movie, you know? And I think it was like a $300 million budget or something insane. So anyway. Yeah.
It's the kind of what we talked about earlier before the show a little bit is Hollywood and their overblown and bloated budgeting, thinking that it took this much money to make this movie, it's going to be great, and you indie directors and writers and stuff are killing it on fractions of what they have.
Shoestrings.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys ever heard the term constraint breeds creativity?
Exactly.
I think there's something to that. Like if you only have, so we shot House of Abraham, we had 18 days to get it done. And so we had to, go through it. And I think I'm really proud of the casting on this film. And I think that is really a director's probably biggest and most effective tool. Every one of the actors in each one of these roles was, I think, not only a talented individual, but also worked really well for that character. So we didn't, I wasn't like trying to have a character that's totally, or an actor that usually plays one role and do like shoehorn something into that's not going to work. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but so we were able to do very few takes and just kind of power through. And then the times I needed to slow down and work with certain actors and take time on things, I had that time. But like in particular, Natasha, I mean, she came on board, you guys, 10 days before production. She was so prepared and so professional and just incredible in the role of Dee. And it was so, I didn't have to do a whole lot of takes with her. And then same with Lucas for Abraham. I mean, he wrote the role, so he knew it very well. And so we could just kind of knock stuff out. It was great. So yeah. 18 days.
Can I ask how much did y'all have for the film, or is that private information?
So I'll give you kind of a ballpark. So it was south of $1 million. I'll just leave you there.
That's actually incredible.
Yeah, especially for, like I said, for seeing the production.
Oh yeah, just the production value.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Thanks.
So
thanks.
here's.
Sorry, guess.
No, go ahead.
Between like 5 and 10 million, I've had people guess. So that makes me feel bad. So,
That's
I mean, that's what I would have assumed.
That'd have been a fair assumption. Yeah.
What were you gonna ask?
So,
sorry.
Here's my question. So Lucas wrote it, you directed it. You guys had collaborated before on stuff. Was it easy for both your visions to come together for, like, especially his character as well as the other characters in the film?
Yeah, no, great question. Well, since you're asking that and you guys are privy to the inside story, I'll tell you how it all went down. So I mentioned Guest of Honor that I wrote, directed, produced, and then played the lead role of Rebecca, and I cast Lucas in that. So we had collaborated before. So we said, all right, screw it, let's do a one-room horror. That was the idea. So Lucas came up with the idea. He wrote the role of Dee for me and the role of Abraham for himself, and we were going to co-direct. And that's how the train got on the tracks. And then a few months before we went into production, one of my producing partners, Paul Merriman, who's worked on some bigger projects and everything, he kind of sat me down and was like, listen, no offense, but you're a no-name actor. Why don't we get an actor with, some name, credibility, and all of that? And I said, I'm not opposed to that. And so we had some conversations, and I brought that to Lucas, and it was, Lucas and I are incredible collaborators together. I really respect everything that he says, and I feel respected by him. And so anyway, we talked through it, and we felt that if we were to bring on a name to play the role of Dee, then I should solely direct. And so that's how it all kind of came together. So so yeah, a little different, but it was all kind of meant to be, and it's, I don't know, it came out the way it's supposed to be. So yeah,
It came out fantastic. So you guys all did an amazing job on it.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to see your next one.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, in the horror film realm, you guys just seem to have this chemistry to
Make great stuff.
Yeah, really bring out the characters and bring out the story in a very, intelligent way that keeps the audience intrigued and engaged with wanting to know more and know the full story and get the ending or get the what if or where can this go ending.
Yeah. Oh, and I kind of didn't answer your question, Kari, so I went on the tangent. But as far as the two of us and our visions, we think a lot alike, and we really, excuse me, as he was writing the story, I would weigh in on things and characters, and we really did collaborate together, and I'm really grateful for that collaboration. So as we went forward, and although I was directing, he took his time and focused on Abraham, but sort of building the character of Abraham and all the characters, it really was that collaboration. And there were moments. All right, I got a good funny. I know we're getting close to 2 hours, so I'll give
that's fine
to wrap it up here. But so in the excuse me, spoiler alert, a little bit. Well, not really. Whatever. We do have a little nudity, and we do see Lucas's bottom in the film. And so in that scene, before we went to film it, he's let's just say Lucas Hassel is extremely handsome, and he has a lot of fans and all that, whatever. And so he pulls me aside. We're like close friends and collaborators, but he pulls me aside and he goes, "Okay, seriously." He's like, "When you see my butt," he's like, "if it's an old man butt and it's not good, just tell me. We'll cut it out of the movie, whatever." I said, "Oh my gosh, seriously, you're putting this on me?" I'm like, okay. So thank God when he did the scene and everything, I pulled him aside. I'm like, "Dude, you got a hot ass. We're good. Let's go."
You are good. You have done your squats well.
Yes. So
it's not raisins.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's we had such a fun time working together, and I miss him, and we want to do something together again. So we'll see what that is.
House of D, House of Daisy.
Maybe.
Let's see. Triple Toys laughing. Yeah. So let's cross our fingers that you get funding for your next film then, and get that up and moving and going. And we definitely look forward to seeing more from you, and taking another horror down, another trip down horror lane maybe.
Yeah, for sure. If there's any horror writers out there, if you got some a good premise, send it my way, and if it sparks my interest, let's talk.
There you go. All right, let's wrap it up here, and to end it, just for everybody now and for the after show that catches us later. Where did it? Here it is. Go check out House of Abraham on Prime Video TV or Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube, and Gather. If it's not too much trouble, definitely go to Gather and check out the film there, just because it seems like a better benefit to everybody on that one. Definitely helping you guys out a lot more than the other big name, big box production companies.
True, and that can be found directly on our website, houseofabrahammovie.com, and if you click on Rent Now, it takes you to the Gather interface, and you can watch it through that. So yeah.
Awesome.
And don't forget to pre-order that Blu-ray on December 9th.
December 9th, yes.
Thanks, Ray.
And don't forget to check back in with us February, Valentine's Day next year for spoiler talk.
Yes,
it's going to be a fun time.
House of Abraham spoiler talk. Yeah, I'm excited about that because I've had to bite my tongue so much during this show. It's been
I was gonna
rough.
say something tells me you guys are gonna talk a lot more on this next.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm good at not avoiding the spoilers, but you guys, next time.
Yeah, I've been biting my tongue the whole time.
Yep.
So go ahead and, as our guest, let everybody know where they can find you. Your social medias, websites. We've gone over them, but yeah, let everybody know where they can check you out and follow you and find out all the latest information about your projects.
I will do that. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Again, I'm Lisa Belcher. I directed House of Abraham, and if you want to follow the film on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, it is House of Abraham Movie. The website, like I said, houseofabrahammovie.com. And you can see the film on Amazon, Apple, Google Play, and YouTube, as well as on our website. And I'm Lisa Belcher. You can follow me on Instagram to see what I'm doing next, if you're interested.
Oh, and also go check out Hawthorne Experience, Hawthorne_experience on Instagram.
The Hawthorne Experience.
Yeah,
the Hawthorne Experience.
Yes, definitely. And keep an eye out soon for the music video. Probably will be coming in the new year, and hopefully it'll be on the Blu-ray. We'll see. But if not, it'll be on my YouTube, which is Lisa Belcher.
There are some Lynn Shay outtakes on that Blu-ray.
Please.
I know.
I want to see what else she picked up on that suitcase.
We'll see. Oh yeah, that would be kind of good. Oh gosh, great idea. Okay, well let's hope that my editor
just shows she found some gum in a wrapper. Just chewing the gum. It's eating the snacks. Just hey, Gatorade. Going through it. Oh boy, a Game Boy.
XL.
And for the spoiler show, if Miss Shay and Lucas or anybody else in production company would like to join us, they are more than welcome. We'd love to have them on there to get their takes on their characters.
Yes. Yeah. No, I will invite them for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, Russell, what do you got?
Nothing this weekend, honestly. Just taking a nice, relaxing weekend.
Fair enough.
Yep. Find me at Wisdom Official on YouTube and Instagram.
Awesome. Gold.
Same as usual. Gold member.
Go ahead.
Gold member 150 on Instagram and YouTube, and the Devil's Toys on Instagram. Toy collab page. Send your work in, and we'll feature it. Simple as that.
Austin.
Lights.camera.af on Instagram, and the same thing on YouTube.
Awesome. And again, Lisa, thank you for joining us. It's been a real pleasure and honor having you on here talking about your movie, and we definitely look forward to the spoiler version of this show.
Yeah.
Next year, and good luck to you on all your future projects. Seriously, I mean, you have great vision with your film, and definitely look forward to seeing more from you. Go ahead and check us out every Saturday, Devils and Ravens AF. You can catch us on Mondays with Ravens Across the Sand, doing toy photography and appreciation for the toy community. And check out my link tree for any other. I can add that to my link tree. I will add your website to my link tree. So on December 9th, go to my link tree, look up houseofabrahammovie.com, and go order that Blu-ray. Awesome. And that is it. So
good stuff.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. We're going to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and let's get the information out about this film. And on that note, everybody have a good night.
Bye.